Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sonic 3 glitch compilation, where we cover crazy glitches like this, whatever this is, and small visual bugs like this. Oh, and just to make it clear, this is Sonic 3 alone, the video game, not Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Meaning no Knuckles, Hypersonic, or anything after launch base. I'm aiming to show everything that's possible in standalone Sonic 3, although most glitches here are possible in Sonic 3 and Knuckles as well. Okay, I'm gonna start with the general glitches that can be done anywhere, then go in zone order. Afterwards, go on to the level select and debug mode. The last thing before we start, Sonic soft locks. Basically a situation where Sonic is stuck and can't progress. But it's not a true soft lock because the timer will eventually him. Alright, enough talking. Let's get ready to rumble! Before the game even starts, there is a music bug on the file select screen. Leaving the game running for 47 minutes, or fast forwarding, causes this to happen. Anyways, general glitches can be done pretty much anywhere in the game, and most of which are also doable in Sonic and Knuckles. Unlike our first glitch, being able to move around during the victory animation. When an act ends, Sonic and Tails do a victory pose and you aren't able to move. However, if player 2 controls Tails, you can pick up Sonic out of his victory pose and regain control of him. Okay, let's get spicier. A carryover from Sonic and Knuckles. Stand next to a special stage ring and wait until the timer almost reaches 10 minutes. Good thing the Sega Genesis has a cool fast forward feature. Reaching 10 minutes kills you, just like in real life. And jumping into a special stage just before it ticks over leads to this. Jumping in with slightly different timing results in different levels of glitching. This is the worst I could get. Oh yeah, suffering. My favorite. Next, we have some wacky visual glitches. So there's a lot of objects like moving spikes, monitors, and animal capsules that can make Sonic do the wrong animation. Spin dashing next to moving spikes makes him do, peel out? Standing next to a capsule makes him walk in place. Where do you think you're going, dumbass? Also works for bonus monitors. Whoa, that was cool. Getting all three of those is actually pretty hard to do. In the same vein, spin dashing on a crumbling platform lets you move while spin dashing, and change directions. This can be done on any crumbling platform, although it's more of a fancy maneuver than anything. Something that does affect gameplay is, in Sonic 3 alone, if you insta-shield before landing, your next insta-shield will be disabled. And yeah, when that happens, it is very annoying. This was actually fixed in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. When Tails pushes against something, his sprites get misaligned for a frame or two. Your foot definitely does not go there. Not sure why this happens. I haven't seen this noted anywhere, but you literally just move into anything solid. You'll see that there's a lot of glitches that happen simply because the developers didn't account for Tails existing. In Sonic 2, he couldn't pick up Sonic, or even fly when playing as him. Like, when you look up, Tails can pick Sonic up and clip him through some sprites. Basically, if a sprite or object is off screen, it's deloaded to save memory. Things like spikes, platforms that move, breakable objects, or interactable objects. Which leads to many shenanigans that we'll cover more later in depth. Just know that every zone has some instance of it. Passing a checkpoint with enough rings will activate a bonus stage ring. Then you fall down into the bumper pit and must get back up to gamble.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
However, there is one frame where you're considered grounded, letting you jump on thin air. Or better yet, fly with Tails. And even better yet, you can literally press and hold jump to buffer a jump input. Next up, get an electric shield. Any electric shield. And wait until the timer almost hits 10 minutes. What's that? People are saying the Genesis doesn't have fast forward? Oh, that's because I got mine directly from Yuji Naka himself. At 9:59, do a double jump. Well, look at that. The electric sparks get mixed up with the time over sprites. Alright, let's get into some supersonic glitches now. Oh, okay, literally no setup. Supersonic's hair gets misaligned when balancing on a ledge. When rolling, Supersonic will slow down drastically. Even going down a slope, he still slows down. If you get a bubble shield, Supersonic retains the bubble bounce ability, which should have got overwritten when transforming. Running out of rings close enough to a boss to trigger the boss theme, but not load the boss, will override it with the levels theme instead. If you somehow go Super and Angel Island Act 1 and run out of rings before the boss, the Super theme just won't end. Until you reach the boss, of course. Music glitches like this might happen elsewhere, but those two were the easiest. Speaking of easy, going Super turns all water shields into piss shields. And invincibility into yellow snowflakes. Let's take it up a notch, shall we? How about a true soft block? Go to any boss fight. Make sure you have access to Supersonic. at least 50 rings, and our boy, Tails. Sonic will automatically de-transform when the boss is defeated. So, have Tails fight the boss instead. Jump and transform the moment Tails gets the last hit. You're not going anywhere, dumbass. And now it's time for... Sonic Retro says it's a glitch. At the end of any Act 1, a signpost falls down. You can play with it or try for a hidden monitor. But if you look closely, you can see something unusual. Blue Knuckles. Some say he's an unreleased character. Some say he's wearing Sonic's skin. Some say it's a hoax. Either way, it was removed from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. How's about we take an elemental shield into a bonus stage? Did you see it? Let's slow it down. For a few frames, the shield sprites get corrupted. Or was that Bluckles messing with our game? Nah, that one is actually a glitch. In classic Sonic, Knuckles' socks sometimes changed colors. Knuckles as an NPC has yellow socks to prevent sprite palette issues. They say there was development screenshots that had them green, and that it was fixed in Sonic Origins. Wow, that took a while. And finally, while speeding through some loops and ramps, Sonic will abruptly stop. Yeah, it's very annoying. It happens most in Waterland, but also happens in Carnival Night, and sometimes Launch Base. I know for sure it happens in this area of Waterland Act 1 pretty consistently, which defeats the whole purpose of loops and springs. Like, come on dude, are you serious? You know, for Angel Island, there sure isn't any angels. Our first two glitches just happened. Did you see them? Let's rewind it back. First, when Sonic turns super, 3 pixels on Tails' tornado turn yellow. Then the waves on the beach are missing some frames of animation. Here's what it's supposed to be versus what appears in game. Oh right, here's a big one. Normally, you can't move when Knuckles knocks your socks off. However, our buddy Tails here can. Player 2 can have Tails airlift Sonic while Knuckles chuckles, leading to craziness like this. Basically, the intro is still loaded in memory, so the game doesn't load the correct sprites until Knuckles disappears. If you want Tails faster, just mash buttons on player 2. Most of the time, you'll see Knuckles become a monitor, go through the hill, see the monkey guy become letters, burn the forest. But with good flying, I made it all the way to the vines. Also glitched out an invincibility monitor. Here's one that happened randomly. there is a floating electric worm badnik, and I insta-shielded it and the animal froze in place. I wasn't going for that, but cool. Just before the real Act 1 boss, Knuckles' path is blocked by some giant boulders. Sonic can't break them since he's a weakling. Tails, though, has no problems getting past them. When the rocks are off screen, they become a matter of out of sight, out of mind to the game, which lets Tails walk through them. Okay, now it's Sonic's turn. Go up onto these spikes and make sure Tails is with you. Look up and have Tails lift you enough to unload the spikes. Lower Sonic to the spikes and boom! In the wall. Unfortunately, without Tails, you can't really go anywhere. Have him respawn and move upright. Spin dash, and you'll go through the floor into the Knuckles section. But wait a minute, Flame Breath isn't here? But all of would-be Knuckles' Act 2 is? And it's playable? Internally, the game thinks we're in Act 2 once the island is torched, despite us not actually beating Flame Breath, or seeing the signpost. So let's fight the Act 2 boss. Oh, Knuckles' boss doesn't exist yet, and Sonic and Tails appear behind the waterfall. Going further up reveals an empty area. And going down just kills you. Finally, for Act 1, instead of confusing the collision, we're gonna confuse the music. Literally everyone knows Sonic 3 has different music for Act 1 and Act 2 of his own. Angel Island Act 1 sounds happier and more upbeat, while Act 2 sounds sadder and more desperate. Well, during Act 1, if you go into a bonus stage or a special stage, after the torching cutscene, when you come back, the game plays Act 2's theme. In Act 1, which does match, but it's incorrect. Whatever. Now that we're officially in Act 2, let's go all the way back. First, we gotta unlock the screen. Good thing Sega throws you straight into a special stage.
I gotta get out of here!
Upon exiting the special stage, you can spin dash back down the tunnel and voila! Act 1 again. Everything is still here up until the torching cutscene. While we're here, let's go back into Knuckles' area again. Same thing as earlier. Stand on the spikes, look up, Tails assist up and back down. Tails up top and boom. Difference now is there's a big death pit. Oh, and don't get that checkpoint, because if you do, you're stuck here. The flags to lock the camera aren't cleared, so a game over is the only way out. If you have Supersonic active, get into this tunnel. Normally, the game gives you a push so you don't get stuck. However, with Supersonic, spin dash exactly here and hold right. Let go and congratulations! You're Sonic soft locked. Yeah, Sonic is stuck here. No amount of button pressing will free him, even when he goes back to normal. Real quick, if you're wondering how I went super in Angel Island, play sounds 2, 4, 5, and 6 in the level select, in that order. Or just hold A while entering a level for debug and use the super monitor. Or use Game Genie code AAYT-CAHR, my personal favorite. Alright, at the last tunnel, we have Tails spin dash through first, then follow him. With good timing, Tails will get stuck rolling in place. Moving right, he'll get dragged by the screen. Are you okay, buddy?
No.
Check it out, I'm walking the dog. Alright, calm down, man. You'll be fine. If you hold right when exiting the tunnel, you'll find an invisible platform above this tree. Not sure why it's here, but it's here. Tails can also just fly up to it. On rare occasions, the tunnel bugs out and abruptly stops Sonic or Tails, making Angel Island's graphics get corrupted. Since the game loads the flying battery bombing cutscene, it overwrites all of Angel Island's normal graphics since they aren't needed, leading to enemies becoming garbled messes and flying battery chunks all over the ground. Loops are especially horrible. If you went into a bonus game or special stage, you can carry this all the way to the torching cutscene. Oh yeah, lovely! Put it on the fridge. Unfortunately, I haven't found a consistent setup for getting sent back. It just kinda happens randomly. Going into the Eggman fight, bring an electric shield with you. Beat Robotnik, but have Tails die during the fight, which isn't hard because he just offs himself. Double jumping and hitting the capsule off screen will freeze Tails in place. Today just isn't his day, I guess. Here's a speedrunning trick. Now I'm not sure what parts set up the glitch, but once Robotnik flies ahead, I stop and spin dash. Beat Robotnik before he hides in the water. Once he's beaten, I did the previous glitch to hit the capsule early and go all the way to the right. After many attempts, you can skip the Knuckles cutscene. Speaking of Knuckles, lure the capsule over to the right and open it. Somehow, Sonic can ass jump when the bridge collapses. Double jump on the capsule and you can confront Knuckles. What are you gonna do now, tough guy? Lastly, beat Robotnik and hit the capsule, but jump into the pit for fun. Hey, wait a minute. Sprites from the capsule also get replaced. With that, let's move on. FYI, it's pronounced Hydrocity. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Hydrocity is subjectively correct. Right off the bat, we encounter our first glitch catalyst. this switch. Spin dashing and having Tails press the switch will hold the spin dash charge. This is what happens to people who say Hydrocity. Letting go of down releases the spin dash. Unfortunately, nothing funny happens if Sonic drowns, which isn't something that should be funny anyway. You see this waterfall? It looks pretty nice, right?
He's nice.
Well, have Tails press that button. What about now? Pressing the button makes the waterfall animate faster. Weird. I guess it gets reset to be like the other ones. This next one is a whole lot easier in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but Super Sonic can sometimes achieve a similar effect. If Sonic goes fast enough in the water current, he can briefly regain control. The easiest setup I found is having Tails go first, hold down and left as Sonic, jump as Tails to break the pole, and if you're lucky, Sonic can move around until touching a pole. Wait, I thought Tails broke it. What the fuck, Tails? Whatever. Let's really mess this area up. Go through the water tunnel like normal, and go up to the top path. Play for a little bit until the ceiling disappears. Okay, now we're up high enough. Use Tails to fly up to the top path. Dead end. Good thing we have a convenient electric shield. Have Tails lift Sonic up to the wall and then double jump over. From now on, I'm gonna call that Tails electric jumping for simplicity. Did anyone else notice the Sonic statues on the ceiling? Tails electric jump one more time, and back to the beginning. What happened here? They didn't expect you to go back here once you get squirted out of the tunnel. So, palettes change to match your current area. Also, there's no water pushing you out anymore. Also, it makes this easier to pull off. Pressing down makes Sonic move down slowly. Getting stuck on a wall can be done anytime by having Tails push the switch and jumping left. Also with Tails, have him lift Sonic over any propeller. Doing so freezes him in place until Tails lands. See these tubes? See how they're semi-transparent? Well, when Sonic and Tails go through the tube, you can't see them. Going through the last tube and holding right will make these abominations. Momentarily. What the hell, Tails? Now we're at the boss area. Coming to the checkpoint will make the black balls stop moving. Honestly fitting for a pre-boss area. I like it.
He's nice.
Tails electric jumping onto the loop and moving to the right results in a Sonic soft lock. Yep, no way out of here. It's crazy you can do it this easily. Going to the mini-boss, it straight up plays the wrong boss theme. This is Act 2's boss theme. It gets worse if you start drowning. Stopping the countdown plays Sonic and Knuckles' Act 1 boss theme, for some reason. Imagine finding this as a kid before Sonic and Knuckles came out. You'd probably think you're a genius for finding a secret song, and nobody on the playground would believe you. Before the boss swishes the water around, make Tails spin dash out of the water. Dude, how are you doing that? Also, when Tails makes a splash, can get glitched out. And Tails can be controlled if you game over in the boss arena, which normally isn't possible since Tails automatically flies to your X position when dying with no control. So I don't know if it counts as a glitch, but it looks funny. Sonic and Tails can do their victory pose on thin air if you're on a slope when the act ends. Hey, post sock puppet here. So you can get early hits on the boss by spin dashing and jumping with good timing. However, I swear that hitting the boss at the right time could lead to a true soft block, but I could not recreate it. I vaguely remember getting it as Tails, but I could find no evidence of it, so maybe somebody can prove me right. Finally, for Act 1, let's see our first loop back. On the top path, just before the boss, get on top of this loop with the invincibility monitor. Tails assist over to the right, and electric jump over the wall. Doing so leads to this room again, with no water, and all of Act 1? Welcome to a loop back, aka the Sonic back rooms. A repeat of the entire act without enemies, functional objects, or correct sprite placements. As you can see by the once gorgeous water line. As far as I know, every act has a loop back, although I haven't seen one for Angel Island, and yeah, you're usually stuck here. Going down the water path, the water current object isn't there, although you can spin dash up the curvy tube. Then I timed out. Other loopbacks are more interesting to look at, but this is still pretty cool. Just look at that water line. On to Act 2. And we have another glitch catalyst. The crushing wall. Whew, barely made it. Wait, it's not real? Oh, Tails, another one of your tricks again. Tails only ignores the wall once it's done moving. Yeah, I know, hold on. Don't have a cow, man. For Sonic, have Tails spin dash through these walls, and have him stand in their place. Go forward and... Huzzah! The wall is gone. No more anxiety, just chill platforming. Here's where the wall normally starts. Since it's gone, we can stand on the walls that block you off. Pretty cool, huh? Now, let's become one with the walls.
I knew your walls.
As soon as Act 2 starts, get the checkpoint and get crushed by the wall. Here's where it gets inconsistent. Jump, get pushed by the wall, and mash the crap out of the jump buttons. Sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes you zip down and die to nothing. But if you're lucky, you'll clip into the wall. Holding right performs a level wrap. Zipping Sonic all the way to the end of the level. Basically, when in a wall, Sonic quickly moves opposite of the direction you press, quickly enough to go off screen. Since Sonic moves to what would be a negative X position, it overflows to the highest positive number, that being the rightmost end. Close enough. While inside a wall, pressing left pushes you right, and right pushing you left. Left results in a nice shortcut, but not nice enough. Start charging spin dashes and release here. If timed right, you'll clip up to the Robotnik fight before drowning. Also, the wrong boss music glitch works here too. Wrong timing can result in death, nothing helpful, or
Death?
well, that was cool. Haven't seen that documented anywhere. Curved slides have funky collision. In normal gameplay, they work fine, but they only have collision on top, so jumping at an angle lets you pass through them. Not very glitchy, so continue down the slide, which curves over an underwater pit. Tails can simply fly upwards into the slide to go through and down the pit. Welcome to the sewers! The game loads random foreground elements under the level, quite consistently actually. The background disappears, and falling down freaks out the camera, killing Tails. Hydrocity doesn't loop vertically, so Tails just dies when it would loop. Definitely a neat area of Sonic 3. Another Sonic softlock, with Supersonic ready, almost make it to the Knuckles cutscene. Staying in the water like an idiot, you'll come across these moving cylinders. Jump on top and go super as it rises. Uh-oh, looks like you're stuck in the wall again. Props to the game for being stable because getting that clip took a lot of tries. Sonic loses collision while transforming, letting him go inside of the cylinder. Transforming just before touching it will zip him into the wall. Doing the same thing on its brother will zip you into the wall, skipping the Knuckles cutscene. Going into the fight, Robotnik's water attack messes up Supersonic, reverting Sonic back to his normal sprites and physics, but keeping the invincibility. His rings stop draining too. Sonic got through Act 2. Normally, Sonic isn't yellow. It stays blue even if he's super. Finally, when Knuckles drops you, line yourself up with the rightmost wall. Spin dash, mash through the poles, and don't let the tide carry you too far. Max charge a spin dash, and if you're lucky, you'll blow right past Robotnik. Alright. Opening the capsule starts off normal, but Sonic just stands there, waving his finger around. Okay, let's go back and beat Robotnik. Oh, real funny. Yep, this is a true softlock. Going past the capsule instead leads to a giant death pit. Death Pit, take us to Marble Garden. Immediately jumping into it, sometimes going too fast will clip Sonic into flat ground. I guess Sonic goes so fast he digs himself into the horizontal floor. This is easier to reproduce in the loopback area, which we'll get to. Screen scroll shenanigans can be done anywhere though. Marble Garden loops vertically, allowing long stretches of vertical level, meaning that the camera can be easily freaked out by simply ducking and jumping. Whoa! Since Sonic went off screen, the game thinks Sonic looped the screen, despite him not going anywhere. Remember back to when I said, when the rocks are off screen, they become a matter of out of sight, out of mind to the game. Yeah, the same applies here too. Vertical screen wrapping deloads object collisions, leading to some nice shortcuts. Like this one by holding right after the driller guy. Or this one if you go right on the twisty-turny thing. Screen scroll and immediately head right into the yellow spring. You'll probably have to spin dash forward and jump before zipping out, putting you right next to the mini-boss. After taking the second shortcut, continue towards the mud pit. Screen scroll under the last tree, and move right. Sonic should start zipping off screen. Holding left will send you to Marble Garden's back rooms. Who designed this place anyway? Sharp edges do not belong here. Heading down won't spawn the driller. But you know who does spawn? Robotnik, baby! Spam spin dashes to move closer to Robotnik. Jumping or getting hit wrong will move the camera down, making it damn near impossible to beat him. So let's avoid that by really quickly spin dashing into Robotnik's face. Literally. Once he flies up, release the spin dash and hold right, then spin dash again. And tap left and spin dash to land a final hit. Hold it! How are you gonna hit the capsule, smart guy? Do we A, jump into it like normal, B, wait for it to hit Sonic's head, or C, duck down, then jump when it's on screen? Option A results in panning the camera down, but neither Sonic or Tails can reach the capsule. Even if we manage to get Sonic on screen, the capsule only floats down so far, resulting in a true soft lock. Option B sounds correct, and yeah, Sonic's head does free the animals, but he's stuck there indefinitely. Another true soft lock. Finally, option C. Ducking scrolls the screen down, without Sonic actually moving down. Sonic's head opens the capsule, and allows him to land. Oh my goodness, I can't believe my eyes. Y'all were so quiet and well behaved. I'll show you everything else Marble has. There are a bunch of blue spinning tops. Running on one moves it upwards in that direction. But what if we fly into it? Power scalers, we have another strength feat. Seriously, how is he doing that? Tails can't pick Sonic up anymore. Pressing left or right though fixes it. Flying Tails on top of one gets him stuck. Oh, now you have unlimited flight. This can be done on any spinning top. Go to the next one above the mud pit. Like a filthy swine, we're gonna jump in. Get on the top and touch the ceiling. Move down into the mud pit without landing. Without landing. And bam, right through. Pressing left ends with a Sonic soft lock. I think there's an earthquake. Beating an eyeball enemy causes a rumble effect. However, beating it and quickly deloading it keeps the rumbling effect. The same applies to these platforms lowered by the driller. Moving right and reloading them re-triggers the rumble. So if you're quick enough, you can cause life-changing disasters everywhere you go. Or maybe you're a simple man. If so, go super just before the driller. Hitting said driller and quickly moving left will make a piss ball and chain. And it messes up the badnik colors. Same idea as the last glitch, deloading the driller while it's flashing keeps the flashing palette everywhere else. Every classic Sonic game so far has had at least one game crash. Now it's time for Sonic 3's. Slowly inched into the boss room. Just enough to start the boss music. Despite being off screen, the driller is still loaded. Simply have Tails walk over and beat the boss. Yep, it's that simple. What's that? You want to explore the loop back more? Great, because there's an alternative way there. About halfway through the act, there's an electric shield next to a blue top. Jump over the top to raise the platforms. Get electrified, then duck screen scroll and jump. Holding duck scrolls the screen slower, while jumping speeds it up. We're trying to jump inside the platforms and be inside of them when the collisions reload. Eventually, you'll clip inside and zip into the back rooms again. Going down still leads to Robotnik. However, if we fly up, the rest of Act 1 awaits. Unless you take a mud bath. Then you fight Robotnik again. Okay, so the reason you fight Eggman in Act 1 is because these are the coordinates that would normally spawn him in Act 2. Hitting these coordinates tells the game to spawn Eggman, regardless of which act you're in. Don't know why Act 2 Robotnik needs to be in memory, but he is. Anyways, Tails is going to be really helpful for traversing since we're going up. It gets pretty damn tricky the higher up you get. I had to spin dash up the hill, spam jump as Tails, then jump as Sonic to latch onto Tails. At the peak, we have a nice misplaced marble garden painting. Fly Sonic up and jumping on the platform starts a boss fight. However, Sonic and Tails are nowhere to be found, meaning it's a Sonic soft lock. Fly Sonic up as far as possible. Go left and jump onto the platform from above. The mini-boss fight starts and glues Sonic to the wall. He also won't stop flashing. No, not that kind of flashing. And no, neither Sonic or Tails are invincible. They're just stuck flashing. Eventually, the driller will make his way over to us to be beaten. Whoa, Act 2 loaded right in my face. Partway into Act 2, we come across more spin dash switches and rising platforms. With Supersonic ready, position Tails next to the spin dash switch, and Sonic over near the wall. Jump, spin dash, and transform to be clipped into the wall. Pressing left sends Sonic below a mud pit. Filthy swine. Somehow the mud doesn't kill you from below. Tails can lift Sonic up through the mud like it's nothing. While testing, I was able to clip inside the blue disc. Zipping in the wall will lead to Act 2's back rooms. Which are even more amusing. Taking a wrong step easily results in death. Another lot easier way into the back rooms is literally at the beginning. See this split path sign? A lot of players go right, but using Tails lets you go up. All the way up. Here we have a steep slope and the camera stops. Simply walk to the edge and max charge a spin dash. Hold left a bit and you're in the wall. That's it. Hold right and you're off to loopback land. Oh no, they stole the background. I gotta call 911. Another earthquake? What's going on? While the screen scrolls, move left to keep the camera from locking. Remember this layout, it'll be important later. Now we can jump down and, is that mud? Start the land crumbling chase. Although we end up getting stuck in weird geometry. Normally Robotnik starts this section. However, hitting the right coordinates does it anyway, even if other chunks are in the way. Going right instead gives us graphical puke. Ugh. Okay, what about left? The way I found was while the screen scrolls, spin dash up the slope, jump over the ledge, and spin dash more. Easier said than done since Sonic loves to get stuck on the slope. Be careful though, there's an invisible platform slowly moving up. Unfortunately, it's not enough. So we gotta fumble around while the screen scrolls. I got it after a few tries. Power scalers. Sonic can run on thin air. Easily universal plus. Aw man, another Sonic soft lock. Low tier, trash! If you've watched a speedrun of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you probably know speedrunners end up in Knuckles' Act 2 boss arena. And you can see the arena exists in Sonic 3 alone. So I spin dash and release when the up sign passes by. And I try my hardest to get into the arena. What the hell? I won? How and where did I win? I thought it crashed. I did really good. I'm getting lives. I wonder if it'll take me to Carnival Night. What? I won! I literally won! I heard the victory music and everything! Why did it not pass me? Aww. So yeah, I don't know what the f*** I did, but I did it. Continuing from this point, the backgrounds get very confused, flickering back and forth. Reactivating the drill earthquake section makes it worse. Misplaced graphics, Sonic's on the floor, missing background. Oh my goodness. I only got the background flickering and messed up drill section after fake beating the act. Any normal loopback death wouldn't cause it, regardless if the background was moving. This whole thing isn't documented anywhere, so get on it, Sonic Retro. Even more bizarre is while trying to do the same exact thing, I got the game to crash. Nope, it's not paused, or else the music would stop. And no, it's not edited in. The game just crashed. This specific crash also isn't documented anywhere. Anyways, even if I was able to get into the arena properly, nothing would happen since Knuckles' boss doesn't exist yet. But I'm not done yet. While writing the script, I stumbled through the loopback drill section and zipped into the Robotnik fight. Guest starring a random wall. And it's a Sonic soft block. There's a wall below the camera that Tails cannot get past, meaning Sonic can't attack. Speaking of which, going into the boss normally, don't start the boss fight yet. Stand in front of this pillar and make Tails spin dash off screen. Now activate the boss. Tails? Where are you, buddy? Yo, what up? Tails' respawn gets super delayed if he dies before activating Robotnik. Now this time, jump around like a 2-year-old after drinking 12 sodas, to keep Tails from respawning. This time, Tails won't show up for the fight. Sonic is still below the screen, standing on an invisible platform. See, there he is! From what I remember, you only get to fully jump once. Even so, Sonic can still spin dash and get a final hit. Without Tails though, we're soft locked. The capsule doesn't come down far enough to reach, even with a double jump. Wow, that was a lot. Take a break, get some snacks, go to the bathroom, whatever, and we'll come back to Clown Town. Balloons are cool, but you know what's even cooler? Piss balloon. Yeah, another palette glitch. Some balloon colors change to yellow when going super, making a sort of super balloon. Apparently, running on a rotating cylinder like this one shows a prototype sprite. Both acts have fans that twirl Sonic or Tails around and push them up. Damn, Sonic, your ass stinks!
No one's asking you to smell it.
Jump abilities still work. Contrary to Hydrocity's fans, which don't. Hydrocity's fans also freeze Sonic in place if Tails flies him over one. Carnival Nights work completely fine. Weird. Here's something else weird. Choosing to play as Sonic alone, Tails won't follow you around. Up until the Marble Garden Robotnik fight where he comes in to save the day, and then drops you off at Carnival Night. Right now, he's an NPC. He won't do anything, and player 2 can't control him. Moving off screen despawns him. That's normal. This glitch takes some time. Go through Carnival Night without dying, entering a bonus stage or a special stage. Get to the boss and beat it like normal. You're still here? Again, he's an NPC. Empty head, no thoughts. Standing towards the right, you can see Tails fall out of nowhere. Tails may have despawned at the beginning, but the Tails object never got cleared from memory, leading to his special guest starring later on. So does doing the same process in Act 2 lead to the same result? Alrighty then. You coming to me? I guess not. Well, now you're with us. Due to the abundance of interactable objects like barrels, fans, wheels, rotating cylinders, and elevators, Tails does get a little quirky when he respawns, like rolling or flying with his head. I'm assuming interactable objects are the cause. I haven't really found a definitive answer. Towards the beginning of the act, you'll come across a bubble platform. Jumping moves it up. Standing on it briefly increases the height gained. Well, on this one specifically, it can push you into the ceiling. Once high enough, press right to get Sonic soft locked. Throughout Act 1, you'll come across some flybots. These guys swoop down and will chase Sonic until they get destroyed or go off screen. Time for some shenanigans. Lead a nearby flybot to this corkscrew. Getting hit into it throws the corkscrew out of whack, letting Sonic walk inside of it. With Tails, float inside the exit hatch. Just like Sonic and Knuckles, try luring a badnik to a special stage ring. In the brief period between entering the ring and starting the special stage, whichever character still exists inside the ring, letting them get hit out of it, although the ring still works as intended. Now let's lure one to the boss fight. It's not exactly supposed to be here, turning it into electricity. Beating the boss seemingly makes it disappear. Then it turns into, oh my god, literature! Alright, we gotta get out of here. If you go supersonic, the spiky top can push Sonic into the wall. Not much you can do, but it's neat enough to mention. With Tails, we can use this tunnel to make graphical trash. Tails can reopen some one-way doors by standing below them, either before they close or when they're off screen, letting Sonic go back when the game tells him not to.
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Doing so in the boss arena freaks out the foreground tiles. Since we're here, Tails can lift Sonic back down a gravity elevator. I knew something else looked off. As Tails alone, let the top destroy a whole column of blocks. This will expose the death pit below, then beat the boss normally. Okay, now when the screen shifts, jump down. A short hop and flying downwards clips Tails through the floor. And you can see the background change. Unfortunately, you're Sonic softlocked. Clipping into the floor can be done with or without blocks, since it's based on the screen's automatic scroll. Jumping too early kills you, and makes the boss reappear. Neat. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. Well, it's actually pretty complicated. Let's go back to the beginning. Standing extremely close to a wheel will still apply the wheel physics, letting you get random bursts of speed. And what a coincidence! One of the first wheels has some ring monitors right below it. Standing on top of them is what's tricky. Jump onto the platform above the spring shell badnik and run onto the balloon. Hold right until... oh. It takes a few tries. Time for chaos. Sonic gets really high gravity and still has the wheel physics, meaning everything can be ran on, leading to a lot of potential Sonic soft blocks. Running on ceilings, walls, and even into the Knuckles section. Not much you can do here without Super. Transform clipping gets you further along. Making it to the boss, the game will silently teleport you upwards, starting the fight as normal. But I'm not done yet. Method 1 for clipping to the boss utilizes Sonic Strain's physics, and can even skip all of that too. Run off the right. You should end up next to this ramp. We need to land on this curve. Jumping or grabbing a cylinder cancels the wheel glitch, so don't do that. Instead, wait until the spikes are down and do a quick spin dash. Hold right, just right, to not run off. Push up against these spikes and full send it. Keep holding right and press duck before hitting the ring monitors, switching to left after going through. Hopefully Sonic ends up on the nothing. Run up the nothing until Sonic vanishes. Ah yes, look at all the fun I could be having. Most times I end up in the back rooms. I did end up in the boss after what I assume is holding left. However, that's extremely inconsistent. It might be easier to do this. Basically, inch to the left side, hit the balloon and hold left. Jumping off a barrel doesn't cancel the wheel glitch, thankfully. It gets a little inconsistent now. Pan the camera up and run off. You can end up just below the barrel, or Sonic softlocked. But if you time it right, you'll zip off screen, and keep holding left. Welcome back! Remember, jumping cancels the wheel glitch, so let Tails do our dirty work. Congratulations! Act 1 complete. While we're at it, let's skip Act 2 also, since the wheel glitch should still be active. Once in the speed tunnel, hold left until landing. Immediately hold jump and right. Sonic bounces off a bat and runs on the walls. Hey look! Tetris! Run off and hold right. It takes a while. We'll get there. Depending on when you enter the wall, you could run back into the level. Entering just right will lead outside. Jump down after passing Robotnik and... oh. Alrighty then. Simply pressing the switch ends the level. But not really. Sonic stopped waving his finger again, meaning a Sonic soft lock. Instead, hit it and run off the left side. Oh boy, I think you have a cold. Nope, that's a full-blown virus. No matter what though, it's a Sonic soft lock. And now that you're all caught up, let's see how everything else unfolds. The only way I found to avoid Sonic soft locking is just by passing up the capsule and beating Robotnik. Completely normally. Sonic and Tails are stuck in the corner because of the boss arena screen lock. Beating him frees them. However, jumping down at just the right time won't spawn the capsule. Beating Robotnik now leads to a true soft lock. Also, running past everything leads to the Act 2 loopback. All the barrels are gone, so are the springs. The candy canes don't work, and its base doesn't switch layers right. Am I the only one who gets annoyed when AI Tails makes a jump that I fail? AI Tails really abusing his extra jump height. Surprisingly, the wheels still work fine. Alternatively, you could just go past the capsule into the sewers. Random platforms get stacked on top of each other, as well as the background cutting off. Jumping down freaks the camera out, killing Sonic off the top. Skipping Act 2 is actually pretty easy. It's Act 1 that's a pain, due to how inconsistent getting a good zip can be. Albeit failing is still pretty cool. I mean, we got to see the back rooms. An easier way to skip all of Act 1, but not Act 2, exists with the same barrel. Truly a Carnival MVP. Firstly, barrels can easily be passed through with Tails. It takes a few tries, but look up, have Tails fly it off screen, and dip back down onto it. Or you can move the barrels up and down by using up and down, then transforming as it comes up. Make sure to destroy these speed shoes. Look up, then Tails assist into the spikes. If you didn't get the speed shoes, Sonic will be crushed. Simply pressing right ends in a Sonic soft lock. No, you gotta get beneath Tails. Tap right, jump with Tails, and fly down into Sonic. Ah, damn it. Pressing left puts us in position, and zoom, off we go. I think I held left just to ensure I didn't overshoot it. Act 2 has some silly glitches on its own, especially if Nipples the e-girl gets involved. Actually, right at the start, just skid into the water. Did you see it? The dust behind Sonic got messed up. With good timing, you can summon water splashes too. The first water section has a set of spikes. Look up and have Tails float Sonic into them. Be on the right end and jump. Aw, dang it. The middle leads to the Carnival sewers. Like Hydrocity, random chunks of stacked platforms hold up the level, as well as the background cutting off. Going all the way left leads to a wall, and the right leads to a wall with a tube. Pretty neat. Cannons are cool, right? Going on top of a cannon loads Sonic into it like a cannonball. Pressing jump shoots him wherever it's aiming. But what if we had a yellow fox drop Sonic onto it instead? Now Sonic stands on top of it. Spin dashing slowly lowers him down. The game thinks we're in the cannon, so reaching the bottom and firing it leaves Sonic, spherical. He magically gets pushed whichever direction he's looking, almost like he's in a tunnel. Getting hit frees him. If you let go early and then fire, this happens. Like I said, the game thinks we're in the cannon, and firing the cannon zoops Sonic to where he should be. However, if Tails gets deloaded, everything goes back to normal. After the first water section, bump Sonic left. Play Friday Night Funkin' on a barrel and up the gravity tube. Get to these bonus ring monitors. Hopefully that's enough to go super. Dragon Ball Sonic and literally jump onto this slope. Sonic Softlock, baby! Actually, this was fixed in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Oh look, it's Knuckles. I wonder what craziness I can do with him. First off, we know Tails can reopen one-way doors if he walks up to them off-screen. Doing it here lets us play the beginning of Act 2 underwater. None of this is supposed to be submerged, but everything, even the candy canes, work perfectly fine. Just make sure to have a bubble shield, or else you won't be getting very far. Also, make sure not to fly into a special stage, or else the water dries up. Dying, then doing the glitch again, won't work, as the level boundary gets correctly reset. These spikes look pretty dangerous. Let's clip into them. As Supersonic, duck down underneath them. Have Tails fly Sonic up, and press left when you're impaled. Bet you weren't expecting that. Oh, but I was, Sonic. Better get a checkpoint. Hey look, a bonus stage. What the hell? Welcome back, Blue Baller. So yeah, you're not really meant to get a bonus stage after the cutscene. Hence why we clipped into the room. Going into a bonus stage messes up the camera boundaries, keeping it from panning down far enough. And dying doesn't fix it either. You're stuck. You know what else dying can't fix? Tails abuse. Who is this git? I summon thee! As Tails alone, after Knuckles turns off the lights, and partway through the water section, there is a bumper funhouse with balloons. That's how you know it's fun. The water line flushes down too. However, if you start swimming into the funhouse, and pop all the balloons, and run out of energy, Tails invents perpetual motion. No combination of left, right, or jump will free him. He's stuck there until 10 minutes pass, aka a Sonic softlock. What a terrible situation to be in. What's worse is this could very well happen in normal gameplay. So can this. Yeah, for some reason this ceiling just instantly kills you, which is weird since none of the other ceilings nearby do this. You know, maybe I want to keep the lights off. Sega designed Carnival Night too well and forces you to turn the lights back on to progress. Luckily, we have a fox that Sega didn't bug test. Directly below, there's a small area that we can sorta stand on. Get Tails to stand still, then do your standard duck, and then fly up. The hard part is actually getting Tails to cooperate. He either jumps away, flies too high, goes up the cylinder off screen, or despawns because the screen is too low. Eventually though, I found that short hopping just next to Sonic and holding the opposite way is pretty consistent. Now we need to fly all the way up and speed through the unloaded spikes. Easier said than done. I tried using Super's sheer speed and nothing. I tried electric jumping. Nothing. Part of the issue is Tails just disappears mid-flight. Why? Right before getting high enough, he vanishes. With Hypersonic, it's definitely possible, and I feel like that it should be theoretically possible in base Sonic 3, although I could not seem to make it work. Let's just say I did. Of course, all the lights stay out when they shouldn't, but also pressing that switch lowers the water line a tiny bit off screen. So if we were to make it to the next Knuckles cutscene, is that Bluckles? Apparently he likes raisins and hates political intrigue. Don't worry, we can see him with debug mode. Right after turning on the lights, there is an upside down slope. Literally run onto it for a Sonic softlock. Here's another interesting one. Towards the end of the act, there are these crossing candy canes. I don't know what their name is, so they're candy canes.
Ho ho ho!
Eventually, they lead to a fan section. Notice the lack of enemies. Below us is literally the Knuckles section. So if we manage to get hit somehow, slowly lure a Batbot up to the gravity tube. Be careful not to get too far away or it'll despawn. When you get to the candy cane, hold right to slow yourself down so the Batbot can catch up. Once you're getting blown, get hit. Congratulations! You're in the Knuckles section as Sonic. From here we can blast through his boosters. And looky there, his teleporter, which doesn't work. I flew up and nothing happened. His egg capsule isn't here, so the teleporter won't work. Let's go left instead. What do you think you're doing? Running through my tunnels? Edging my teleporter? It's not what it seems. Calling me gay? What? Well, tough, buddy. You're not going anywhere until I press this button. He'll never press the button. This is a Sonic softlock. Yeah, since Sonic isn't in the correct position when he enters the cutscene, we lose all control of Sonic, and Knuckles never gets told to move. Onto the boss, again. Robotnik drops his balls. Robotnik can also lose his ball. By luring him to the leftmost edge, once he's all the way over, he'll drop the ball off screen and float over to it. Really what just happened is the ball fell down the tube. Robotnik still does his shock attack, then nothing. Roughly 20 seconds after attacking, he comes back. That must have hurt, man. Houston, we have a problem. Landing Sonic on a cannon doesn't exactly work that well. Spin dashing all the way down, then releasing, causes a misfire. And no, that's not me jumping. Sonic's doing that all on his own. Mods, guide him in the right direction. Jumping back in makes it work? I don't think that's the right direction though. Releasing early still counts as entering. Right off the bat, we have to get 50 rings while skiing. Exactly at 10 seconds, short hop. Hopefully, you'll have gotten the extra rings. Once at 50 rings, just go super. Are you okay? The devs never intended on you going super while skiing, leading to the game loading custom super sprites and the skiing sprites. Jumping at the right time even lets you ski into the cave. Wow, what a good start. Good thing you weren't playing as Tails. Why? Well, just play through the act and see. Dying doesn't matter. Tails can't progress. The only way to avoid dying is by entering a special stage or respawning at a checkpoint. It's common knowledge amongst Sonic fans that Sega actually referenced this bug in a manual, saying, "In the ice cap zone and throughout the game, avoid having Tails get stuck in passageways or get caught in traps. Have Tails activate star posts or enter into a special stage as quickly as possible." Basically, a vertical looping flag gets set during Sonic's snowboarding action, and Tails doesn't snowboard, so it doesn't get set. Speaking of Tails, breaking an ice block while Tails is standing on it gives him the slope glitch. Who needs flying when you can just walk on thin air? Tails can walk through some walls, and the angle at which he walks corresponds to the surface that he last touched. So if he touches flat ground, he'll be completely vertical, and a slope he runs diagonally, hence the slope glitch. Player 2 Tails can't really take advantage of it, but Player 1 Sonic can. Oh, and that doesn't work. In base Sonic 3. In Sonic 3 and Knuckles, it flip-flops. Tails doesn't get the slope glitch, but Sonic does. Not to worry though. Sliding down through the ice slide lands Sonic on a different kind of ice block. An ice block that destroys a sprite object. So, if Sonic starts running here, he'll barely touch the wall and gain slope glitch status. I'll just let the footage play out. Pretty crazy, huh? Since Ice Cap wraps vertically, Sonic can run until he hits something. And sees things that he shouldn't. Different angles and different starting positions lead to different results. Like Sonic softlocks. Dying, or ending up in the intro sequence. Welcome to my Sonic ROM hack. I only changed the background. Hope you like it. It's possible to get back up to the very start of Act 1, and then go back down without a snowboard. Jumping out of the snow loops back to the snowboard area. All sorts of backgrounds and foreground objects get mixed around into graphical vomit, leading to crazy palette swaps since the intro palettes get deloaded. Sonic, are you having a seizure? Should have read the flashing lights warning. Actually, that's really common. Simply jumping down and running to the left enough can end up in a level wrap. Classic games like Sonic don't do negative numbers. So instead, a negative wraps back around to the highest positive number, effectively teleporting Sonic to the end of the level. Only it's Knuckles section? Weird. Knuckles' boss doesn't exist in Sonic 3, and Act 2 is just here. Yeah, Act 2 is just loaded at all times. Continuing like normal, you can beat Robotnik and pass Act 1. I sure hope somebody got fired for that blunder. We have more to cover in terms of the slope glitch, but let's continue on for now. Like Marble Garden, Ice Cap has its own screen-scrolling shenanigans. Simply duck and jump once the screen moves down. Doing it, say, near the intro lets you re-see the graphical vomit. Although screen-scrolling is better known for getting into the Knuckles section. Several ice walls exist, blocking off Knuckles' areas. Instead of breaking them, we'll just erase them for a second. Easy. Eventually, Sonic and Knuckles' paths come back together. Except for the final Knuckles area, which leads further underground. Another glitch can happen here. Super Sonic's not supposed to get hurt. Sonic's path doesn't have any floating ice spikes, so the developers probably never intended for you to see them. Either way, it got fixed in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Halfway through Act 1 is an ice block that we have to push down a slope. Standing on the edge of this one lets us clip through the wall. To less effect. Still cool though. With Super Sonic, running out of the cave freaks everything out. Spin dashing just right as normal Sonic can achieve the same effect. Since we're here, listen to the level theme. Okay, now at the last checkpoint, have at least 50 rings to enter a bonus stage. Once we leave, the music will be different. See? It's playing Act 2's theme, while we're still in Act 1. The same exact music glitch happens at Knuckles' last checkpoint too. Similar to Angel Island, the game internally considers us in Act 2 once we exit the tunnel, or after this ice switch. And oddly enough, I was testing to see if a Sonic 3 and Knuckles glitch worked in standalone Sonic 3, where the level card gets stained white after playing through Act 1 with no checkpoints, and dying to the mini-boss. It didn't work. Rather, it spawned me in Act 2? Okay, fair enough. I should have gone through the snowboarding cutscene again, but I'm assuming the same thing is happening here, where the game thinks I'm already in Act 2 before it actually starts. Towards the beginning of Act 2 is a crushing ice pillar. However, he's not very good at his job. Actually, he's a pretty chill guy. I don't want to crush you. I just want to go up and down, all day long. Is that too much to ask? All the other ice crushers work as intended. They just forgot to add whatever it is to make it crush Sonic. Up top now. No, I mean the very top. Take an electric shield and Tails and jump over the stage. Most places don't result in much, but doing it later on clips you into a tunnel. Sonic can run freely inside of it, which isn't normally possible. Spin dashing up almost lets you exit the wrong way. Normally going back into a tunnel summons a magical wind gust to push Sonic in and out. Also, sometimes you just phase through the curves like nothing. While finding the right loop to Tails' electric jump over, I got a stray ring to portal itself. I have no clue how it happened, it just did. Sonic can't get the slope glitch from Ice Cubes and Sonic 3 alone, but Tails can fly him inside of one.
Am I glad he's frozen in there and that we're out here and that he's the sheriff and that we're frozen out here and that we're in there and I just remembered we're out here. What I want to know is where's the caveman?
Technically doable in both Act 1 and 2, I just didn't know where to put it. Tails, what the fuck? Towards the end of Act 2, there are like 3 consecutive loops, if you come from the top path. Going fast enough through them leads Sonic to getting stuck on absolutely nothing. Let's run it back. Alright, Ice Cap Skip. Remember a few minutes ago we covered the slope glitch and how crazy it can be? Now we're gonna go the other way. Keep in mind, I used save states on my genuine Sega Genesis to bring you these glitches, and this one can feel perfectly inconsistent. Before the ice block hits the slide, hold right. If timed correctly, Sonic will touch the wall as it breaks, giving him the slope glitch. Here's what we're looking for. Jump down and immediately jump again. Tap left to keep Sonic from blasting off the side, but fast enough to where he still moves right. Too little speed makes him fall, but too fast won't work either. Roll at the end and start holding left. When he gets these rings, start holding right. Hopefully you are precise enough, or else Sonic will die, or get ejected early, or get Sonic softlocked. Guess that's what I get for skipping the funnest zone. What should happen is Sonic gets over the tunnel leading outside. Once you're over it, jump. Great, now you're in the tunnel. Exiting like this breaks the background, but still leaves Sonic with the slope glitch. Jumping on a slight incline and into the snow leads to Ice Cap 2's loop back. Oh, the background's fixed now. Oh, and we're basically stuck here. Despite still having the slope glitch, there's not really any way for us to explore further. Running down into the red spring, Sonic clips further into the snow, and any second now, he'll zip off screen again. However, this time, he ends up above Robotnik. Perfect. I didn't want to play Ice Cap anyways. Beat him however you'd like. I prefer to watch Tails do it. Robotnik stole the alphabet! No wonder we can't read! Alright, on to Act 2. Sonic fans, I will not be covering Sonic and Knuckles' sections, finishing Act 2 whenever you feel like it, or Tails having 4 tails. Because they don't exist in Sonic 3 alone. Put down your pitchforks, and no, I will not be covering water. Technically it does exist in Sonic 3 alone, but there's no situation that could cause it to happen. Unless you're in debug mode. Skipping Launch Base Act 1 is very reminiscent of Sonic 1's level wraps. Whee! Literally at the beginning, stand next to the spike bed. Land next to the edge and get spiked. If Sonic gets pushed up, you're good. When it lowers, spin dash. Pause. Here's where we pause buffer. Double tapping the pause button will advance the game tiny bits at a time, based on how quickly you pause. Keep pausing until Sonic's gut barely passes the floor. Clipping too early results in a Sonic softlock. From here, hold right, then pause just before the snow. Hold jump and unpause. Sonic ends up in the tower. A pizza tower? Close enough to the mini-boss, I'd say. For Act 2 skip,
Die.
Now that we've perished, the level boundaries are reset, allowing for a good level wrap. Go underneath the moving platforms. Now here's where it gets tricky. Quickly spin dash and short hop onto the curved pipe and tap left. It takes practice as Sonic needs to lose enough speed to go down the curve. But once you hit it, let go. Oh, you failed the QuickTime event. Looks like it's gay baby jail for you. Pressing left slows down Sonic, so press it just before hitting the floor. Sonic should end up in the floor. From here, tap right. This doesn't look very sturdy. Spin dash to inch over more and more until you're almost out, and off we go. Placing us nicely behind the boss. I guess Robotnik got scared. I mean, I would be too if my worst enemy teleported behind me. In both Act 1 and 2, rolling to a stop on a rotating metal tube reverts Sonic back to his idle animation. How are you even doing that? Bubble bouncing does something similar by freezing on his first rotating sprite. Also in both acts, Infinite Boosters! There is a short window where Sonic can jump or spin dash before the launcher actually hits him, making it constantly hit him. The first launcher you encounter can shove Sonic into the ceiling. It's just for funnies. Just like Sonic and Knuckles, chasing enemies can be brought to all ends of the Earth. These flybots are a little tricky. Whenever they dive, that's your cue to drop down. Bringing one to a special stage will knock Sonic out of the ring. Then he just enters anyway, just like the ones in Carnival Night, making it sort of a general glitch. Yeah, that was kind of a mistake in hindsight. Speaking of Flybot, let's bring one to an elevator. It's a bit of a pain, but getting one into an elevator throws Sonic's collision out of whack, letting him spin dash while getting spun around. Rapidly firing off spin dashes clips Sonic out of the elevator. Most times it's a Sonic soft lock, or he gets crushed. OSHA wants to have a word with Robotnik. Try to time it to where Sonic exits, below the exit. If you're lucky, pressing right will zip him off screen. Into the loop back. Apparently, it's also possible to end up in Knuckles' Act 1 boss. However, I could not, for the life of me, get Sonic to enter the arena. Even if I got the inputs right, Knuckles' boss doesn't exist in standalone Sonic 3. See, look, here's me entering in debug mode. Nothing. Either with Supersonic or a Flame Shield, using super speed, or dashing towards the door, can face Sonic through the door. Going down on the first metal cylinder, our buddy Tails has some spikes to drop us down onto. Look up to deload them, and have Tails pick up Sonic and down into Spiky Paradise. Pressing right zips him into the wall, and off he goes! Into the loop back again. One of the first buildings has some escalators that move up when Sonic or Tails is on top of them. If Tails rides it off screen, he learns to walk on thin air. You already know what's happening. Tails is on a sprite-based object that gets deloaded while he's standing on it, giving him the slope glitch. Literally in the same area, our next glitch is sponsored by Sonic 3's checkpoints. Bring 50 rings to enter a bonus stage. Once you leave, look at the laser guy. Exiting a bonus stage or respawning loads in the level card sprites, thus corrupting the laser guy sprites due to memory limitations. At the last egg tower now, Eggman will run away once you get close to him, but he's not scared of Tails, which is why he's gonna hit Robotnik 256 times. Yeah, 256 times. Since we're not actually supposed to fight Eggman, he doesn't have 8 hits. He has the highest 8-bit number, 256, so that everything can play out properly. It's just that the devs didn't anticipate Tails. He was an animal all along? Have we been duped? Ha 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 ha! Yes you have, Hedgehog and Furbrain. Activating the Knuckles cutscene is a Sonic soft lock. Instead of beating Eggman, have Tails simply fly Sonic into the Knuckles cutscene. Somehow that was more effective than the bomb. And somehow it's not a soft lock either. Cool. You know what else is cool? This platform that doesn't get destroyed. Or that part of the building. Finally, for Act 1, hopefully you have 50 rings, because we need them for another bonus stage. Normally, Knuckles' theme continues to play until you enter the boss room, and the camera pulls a Mario by not scrolling backwards. Going into a bonus stage undoes this screen lock. Now Launch Base's theme plays. Time for the boss. Time for the boss. Time for the boss. Time for the boss. Eventually, it just quits trying to fade out. On to Act 2, let's take a nice teacup ride. Take note of its position. Now Tails can fly back up. The glitch is falling down and jumping before getting squished. Damn kids, goofing around on the teacups. Gonna get Sonic soft locked. The top route has a wall booster right above a spring. Getting hit into it messes up the boost. Somehow he hit me through the wall and into a potential Sonic soft lock. More interestingly, getting hit into a water tube freaks out Sonic's collision. No matter what though, Sonic ends up at the exit. A few hooks exist in Act 2 to raise and lower Sonic into different sections. However, if Tails flies him onto one, this happens. Once it stops, you're in a pseudo slope glitch state, until the hook deloads. Later in Act 2, we can get a better look. Interestingly though, zipline hooks don't even work when Tails picks Sonic up.
The hooks, me bucko.
Oh boy, Super Sonic. Go into the last water current. As Super, jump into this curve and you'll take a nice shortcut. To exit the water section, we have to ride a few teacups up. But astute viewers may have noticed Knuckles' path branches off right here. Without screen scrolling, we have to get a little more creative, which we'll get to in a minute. Do you find fighting Robotnik to be boring? Wish you could speed things up? Well, lucky for you, there's a way. Several, in fact. If you get high enough, you can go over Robotnik and completely trivialize the fight. Robotnik must have got scared again because we have to deal with chair. Either jump over as Super Sonic, electric jump as normal Sonic, or fly over as Tails. It's really that easy.
That was easy.
Be careful as chair still has a hitbox. You'd think it'd be over, but losing rings during the real Robotnik fight will reveal chair. Somehow the chair sprite gets attached to a single ring, and the chair randomly appears once you beat Robotnik. I guess I'm cursed. Speaking of Robotnik, Super should not get hurt by that. Another oversight where the game makes Sonic lose rings, but doesn't check if he's Super or not. Another original character unique to Sonic 3 is Darnik. To make him, you have to beat both phases of the final boss as quick as possible, which requires Super Sonic. Phase 1 is easy, just stand on Robotnik and then jump into him. Phase 2 though gets a little harder. Robotnik takes 8 hits, so get your standard 2 hits when he swoops in. Then aim your jumps just right to hit his ass but not get grabbed. Hit Robotnik from below when he drops, and that should be fast enough. When the platform falls too early, it'll drop directly into the water, making Darnik. He's a dark, inverted version of Sonic, who loves hamburgers and loves water sections. He also, coincidentally, hates political intrigue. Oh, Tails! Move the teacup up and let Tails stay behind. Now it gets a little tricky. Sonic needs to stand next to the wall, and as Tails, ride the teacup and jump as Sonic. Damn it. Damn it. Dang it. Ah, it's tough. What we need to do is jump between the teacup and this vent, so that it pushes Sonic through. Problem being is it's really easy to Sonic softlock. I started trying with Supersonic, and eventually I got it. Oh my goodness, thank God. I was starting to think it wasn't possible in Sonic 3. Okay, now the real fun begins. And begin it will. Knuckles' section surprisingly got pretty fleshed out, with working water currents and the checkpoint. Although his version of Robotnik doesn't exist yet, but Sonic's version does, and we happen to be right above it. Firstly though, Tails, fly me away. I have no clue why there's a tower here. I am assuming it's the beginning of a loop back. It doesn't matter right now. Flying underneath leads to... Oh, okay. Like I said, we're near Sonic's final fight, which loads over these platforms. Also, shoutouts to the dynamic background for filling in with ones and zeros. Before everything unloads, jump and relatch onto Tails. Now we can explore a teeny bit more. Unfortunate. Alright, now let's go left. Uh-oh, we loaded everything too early. C2, C3, ST6, C7? Also notice how Sega only drew what was needed for the Death Egg, so it just kinda cuts off. Since we didn't set the flag to spawn Robotnik, no fight will start. Check out how messed up the background layers get. Okay, here's where it gets really tricky. I know I've said that a lot. Have Tails swim upwards, latch on, instantly jump off, and relatch. Then zoom as far left as you can. Now jump. Why is there a platform here? With good timing, Super can land on the Eggmobile, which is loaded at all times, albeit incorrectly loaded. Now the correct flags have been set to spawn Robotnik. Dude, you don't look so good. Robotnik's corrupted graphics stay the whole time, even when changing phases. Hey, wait, we aren't done yet. Oh, competition mode. I never had anyone to play with, so I played with myself. But seriously, I had the Mega Collection as a kid, and sometimes stumbled upon competition mode, thought it was cool, and then forgot about it since there wasn't any competition. Anyways, with Player 2, we can dupe the ring item. It seemed like the items were on a fixed rotation, at least on Endless Mines. Lap 3 will spawn the ring. Let Player 2 get it. Lap 4 spawns a banana and a bomb. Activate the bomb and get hit as Player 2. Now Player 1 gets a ring all of a sudden, and Player 2 still has theirs. Not that it mattered since another bomb didn't spawn. Also check out sprites on the dropped ring. If that wasn't useful enough, let's cheat in Balloon Park. Passing the goalpost during the countdown is a fault. Running backwards though? No problem. Literally jump off the piss balloon onto the slope and keep holding left. That's it. Now you can clear Balloon Park in 15 seconds. Speaking of cheating, oh boy, level select in Sonic 3 alone is notoriously difficult. After the Sega logo darkens and Sonic starts jumping towards the screen, press up, up, down, down, up, 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 up. A lot of frames during this don't actually take inputs for some reason, making this code incredibly hard to do. I mean, just look at that. They're all lag frames. Debug is automatically enabled by doing level select. Now that level select and debug are active, we're going to go to the doyless stage. Literally select the 6 2P versus stage, which is actually the gumball bonus stage. Exiting reloads us into a doyless stage. It's literally the same thing with a funny name. The devs never really planned on you entering a bonus stage from a bonus stage, so it loads in part of Angel Island's card instead. Another easy one is playing Flying Battery's theme in the sound test. On the first loop, it's normal. However, the loop afterwards... the percussion layer gets desynced. Every loop afterwards desyncs it further and further. So I overclocked my Sega Genesis for a while, and here's what it sounds like. I think eventually it'll get so desynced, it'll resync. Debug mode doesn't take any special input. It's already active. Just hold A when picking a stage. Pressing B will activate debug mode. Once you're an item, A cycles through the list, and C places whatever object you're on. Another interesting feature exists if you press C and B in normal mode. Did Sonic just have a seizure? Okay, tutorial over. Let's get glitching. Going into Carnival Night Act 2, simply activate debug and fly to the first Knuckles cutscene. Then all the way down below the boss to Knuckles again. Welcome back, Bluckles! Got any raisins? I think I mentioned that it is possible to see Bluckles in normal gameplay, but I couldn't get the clip right. Consider this retribution. Ice Cap Act 1, you can do something similar by finishing the snowboard intro and debugging back up, effectively making Ice Cap 1.5. The background turns into bright ice caves instead of snow. And of course, you can navigate back up the mountain. Debugging before the snowboard leads to this. Sonic's running and snowboarding at the same time. What a chat! If we debug while snowboarding and go all the way to the boss, Sonic does that. And since we never hit a wall, he keeps snowboarding. After beating the boss, Sonic can blitz through Act 2. This is getting ridiculous. Alright, I saved the best for last. Firstly, the level state isn't cleared after a soft reset. In other words, floating into a zone besides Angel Island or Ice Cap, then pressing Start plus A takes you back to the level select. Do a soft reset by pressing Start on the sound test. Go back and do Special Stage 2. Exit the stage, and finally, Angel Island Act 1. That's not right. Various enemies and objects won't have their sprites loaded incorrectly. Whatever level you entered before soft resetting is the level you'll respawn into. Beating the boss plays Angel Island's theme. However, Act 2 doesn't even load properly. Actually, it's Act 1's loopback. Some levels like Hydrocity just block you off. And finally, just like the level state, checkpoints aren't reset either. Meaning whatever coordinate your last checkpoint was, is the coordinate you'll spawn at. Some graphics get corrupted. But loading into a zone with water, or loading into Angel Island, well, I'll just let the footage play out. Next time on the Glitch Compilation.